Call the meeting of the Bay County Veterans Affairs Committee to order at 3 o'clock on October 15th. Roll call.
Ms. Lazars?
Here.
Gandy?
Here.
Stewart?
Here.
Van Tall?
Something for you to look at later as well.
He's excused.
And begin.
Here.
Quorum present.
So we have minutes from 7/16/2019 and 9/17/2019. If you want to take them together or separately, whatever. Looking for a motion.
Make a motion to accept the minutes for September and July 2019.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Citizens input. Step forward and state your name if you'd like to address. Oh,
Did we do, I missed, did we do both September and July?
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Agenda. What's that?
I just wanted to make sure September was included in the minute. I may have missed it, and if I do, I apologize. Just wanted to make sure that that was included in the motion.
Okay, one separate,
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
yeah. Went together, yeah, it was together. Okay, citizens input. Mrs. Starkweather, if you want to speak now, we might have questions for you later, but if you want to talk about your project, I guess it
Oh, they're trying to do a food.
is on the agenda.
Hi, I'm Cindy Starkweather. I used to be Cindy Martini. My mother was Ella Jane Martini. She was a clerk for Hampton Township. I am a veteran. I had a NATO assignment. I served at SHAPE with Alexander Haig. My friend Mark Smith and I and several other veterans are trying to establish a food pantry for the veterans here in Bay County. And we would like to help all the veterans. We're seeking some funding. We also want to, if need be, make it available to the general population of Bay County, but we really want to serve the veterans in any way possible. There are some veterans that are homebound and cannot get to the food pantry in Saginaw, and we would like to also provide them a service of taking the food to them. If you have any questions, please ask. It's easier to answer questions.
We have it on the agenda later, so I guess we could ask your questions unless somebody has any questions right now. Okay, we may have some later on. Any other public comments? All right, close public comment. Petitions and Communications. So yes, I received the email. I don't know if everybody got the email from Starkweather and Mark about the food bank. So does anybody have any questions for them? Funding would always be the question. That's always usually number one, is where would the money come from? I talked to her on the phone a bit about we're sort of waiting to see from the state about the funding. Probably that money, though, wouldn't be eligible probably to support the food bank. I would imagine it's more for durable, like building supplies, computers, things like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'd have to look at what the grant stipulations are. There's a grant that the state gave us last year, and we worked on the vet's office there. Sometimes there's stipulations with grants about what you can use the money for. And we do have millage. We do get millage money that comes in for the veterans, the 1/10 of a mil. So there's some funds available there. We're sort of looking at our budget at this point in time overall, what we would have for the coming year. I'm assuming the state's going to give us that money. It sounds like it's going to go through. Yeah. Mr. Barsha?
Yeah, the governor did veto, as we know, the veterans funding, both, I think, the trust fund and the new grant program. But it's my understanding the legislature has restored it, and we'll be sending it to her, and I believe they're going to arrive at an agreement to restore that funding. I do think the governor made a mistake when she did that by sort of calling their bluff and then and really picked some very popular programs to veto. and now they're negotiating to get funding back, so hopefully we'll have good news on that front.
So Cindy, maybe, I had a few questions. So it's 1,200 to 1,500, I assume that's from the East Central Michigan Food Bank. You're going to get your food from them, like some of the other agencies do. I know I'm on the Salvation Army board. They get their food from there, and they do have distributions. And I understand the veterans that can't get out to get the food is a problem there, too. If they're senior citizens, we do have the Meals on Wheels as another option. So not that there aren't some options out there, but if you're focusing mainly on veterans, I can understand that. That's a problem. So it's $1,200 to $1,500 for each truck that you get in, which I don't know how long that would last for you to distribute something like that. Probably would depend on the demand of veterans that would need the service. A little hard to project at this time. Whenever you get money from agencies, there's usually strings attached, like reporting and documentation, and I don't know if they would be vendors of the county if we authorize it. I don't know, but you'd have to maybe look at the legal aspects of it also. If you'd have to have a registered vendor. So there's some questions that need to be answered. So I don't know if we can answer your request today.
Yeah, we'll have the Corporation Counsel. She's tied up at the moment. However, it's my understanding from previous opinion, she's offered that the funding from the millage is to go to indigent veterans. So you would have to somehow, if you did get approval for that funding, you would have to segregate that from the pantry food that would be distributed to the public, because that'd be a violation of what the millage was raised for. Yeah.
I thought currently we give out food cards for people that are down on their luck at this point in time. Is that correct, Mark?
We do, yes.
Yeah, okay. So I'm, it's probably a good idea, but I don't know if there's a need for it.
What do you do with the homebound, Mark?
That's the other question.
As regard to what? I mean, how do we get to them, or?
Yes.
We do not, unless we get a request to go to their, if they need a claim file, that's what we do. We do try to make an exception and meet them, or it's only happened once or twice so far.
So they would call you and ask you to come to their home?
And we definitely don't do that. We will not go to their.
You will not go
Could you come to the mic so we can pick it up?
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we don't generally like to go to veterans' homes. We prefer to meet them in a public space. If we were to meet them to do a claim or to assist them with anything, that I'm aware of, there haven't been any calls regarding the need for a homebound person to have assistance, though. So, but that would be, I don't always deal with that, so.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. How you doing, Mark?
Yeah.
There's Cindy and Mark are the ones that are.
Yeah, I'm a Cindy.
Okay, Mark Smith. How many veterans do you take from Bay County to Saginaw, the 1%?
It depends. Sometimes it's 10, 15 of them I take from here. But what it is that the 1%, I work with the 1% out of Saginaw. I work with the 1% out of Saginaw. And what they do is, if you're a veteran, if you can get there, you can get your groceries. But if you can't get there, your wife or your kids cannot go there and get groceries. What we're doing is we're setting up a thing over there where if somebody calls in, they're a veteran, they got cancer, there's quite a few in this town that's got cancer, throat cancer and that, we will deliver to them.
I have a question. It's going to be for Cindy. First of all, I say Cindy, thank you for your service to SHAPE. I've been there. That's amazing. So thank you. Mark, you said you're working with the 1%. Is this something we can combine with the 1%? Could you maybe do a delivery service through the 1% so we're not starting all over? Is there something you could offer a service for the 1% pantry and have a delivery service?
We're going to be
Bay County?
separate from the 1%.
But my question is, do we need to be? I mean, it seems like you're mostly trying to help the homebound. Can you join forces with the 1% and provide a homebound service through Bay County with your committee? Is that possible?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, that way we would have two different places storing food is what I'm asking, and maybe save some money and you guys provide the delivery service for our veterans that are homebound. And currently you're driving 10 to 15 a month. That is a lot. Is it possible that we can continue that through the 1%?
They won't do it.
They won't do it, but if you sat down,
If you got a veteran that's homebound on that,
they won't do it. They won't work with you at all.
The same thing as say if you got a veteran that has got cancer and that, like I said, I work with them, I'm one of the first ones to help set that up. And if you can't get there and you're a veteran, and you can't send your wife or your husband, your wife or your kids there to get groceries, it's gotta be the veteran only. So that's why we're doing what we're doing, is we're gonna set up a service for them so we can deliver groceries to them.
All right. It just seems like it'd be a lot better use of manpower, money, and space to combine forces and
I've
provide.
already got the space for
They won't do it, though.
and everything already. I'm ready to go. I've got my 501c3 and also I've got both tax numbers. And if you'd like to see them, I've got them with me.
Oh, no, thank you. I just curious why the 1% wouldn't work with you. It seems like that'd be a great option for them and for us to work with them.
Oh, yeah, but they won't. They won't do it. I know they won't, because that's one of the stipulations with them.
Okay.
I'm on their board of directors there.
And they won't change that.
No.
That's a shame. That's a good service.
Now,
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no, no.
this food pantry will be for needy veterans. How would you screen them?
Well, we've already, because I've been working with the one in Saginaw, what we'll be doing is we'll be setting up a website with it and everything and that. Whoever comes in, calls in, will be on the board, and it'll show who the veteran is, and then we can look it up. Or when he comes in, he's got to show an ID, saying that he's a veteran. And if his wife's got to come in and do it, she can do it too. I'm not gonna, just because the veteran's sick, it's not because he shouldn't have his stuff.
We're going to cross-check with the other groups too to make sure we're not going from one food pantry to another.
Right, that's what, it would be nice to put all the groups together with the soldiers and sailors, with you all at 1%, so we're making sure we're not missing any veterans, or we're providing the best service possible.
And don't forget Salvation Army and all the other charities in town that give out food baskets. Oh, and don't forget All Saints Sports Club, their athletic sports club that give out Christmas baskets and Thanksgiving baskets and all that other kind of stuff.
We plan to be open on Wednesdays and Thursdays. That would give us enough time to check with different groups to make sure they're not hopping from one group to another. And that way we'll be able to see what they need for sure.
Just to read a line out of the rules and regulations for the soldiers and sailors, before the veteran receives assistance, the veteran is to be directed to the DHS, food stamps, or other state and federal programs and local food pantries, and I support the 1%. So my question, hopefully you'll be involved with that whole project so we make sure everybody's in the same loop.
Yeah,
So
we would network with them.
I agree, coming into colder months, it would be nice to make sure we don't miss any veterans that are homebound, so.
So, but Cindy, you did say you were going to open it to the general population.
What we're planning on doing in addition is bringing a truck like they do at Creative for Caring, along with, not, it'd be separate from that because we have meals to raise money, soup dinners and things to raise money, to bring in the truck separately. That way, we would have some positive advertisement on what we're doing in the community so everybody knows that we're there to help everybody in the community, but the veterans first.
Would it be possible, if you got the food pantry going, to make up for veterans Thanksgiving baskets or Christmas baskets?
We were hoping to do that. That's what our hope is.
Yeah, so the funding, basically, it's just the cost of the food, so everything else is volunteer
There's
services
no,
then?
we're not looking for any money for us.
No.
We're
And
here
you're
to
not
take care
sure-
of people, not to line our pocket.
And you're really not sure how often you would need to get the food truck in, it just depends on the demand that you would have.
Correct.
Yeah, as I've said before, there's a continuum of care committee in the community that does a lot of the food things, Salvation Army, Mid-Michigan Community Action Agency, but this might be a special niche that is not being fulfilled, possibly.
We're hoping that we can help the veterans. Many of the veterans that I've come in contact with, and I am a veteran, and as I said, and I am also an officer at the AMVETS. A lot of the veterans are not willing to go to somebody else to ask for help. They're too proud. But they're willing to take help from another veteran. And that's what we're trying to do, is help our fellow vets.
Any more questions? Marilyn?
Once you would get the food pantry going, how are you going to maintain it?
We're planning on doing a few fundraisers.
This is another.
And go from there.
Okay.
So I don't think we're probably ready for any action at this time. I think we need to have Corporation Council look at what we would need to set up and check our funding also. It'd have to be a line item or a special assessment.
Cindy, have you and Mark talked about what amount of money you're looking for?
We would like at least $1,500 to initially get the truck in, and then we would go from there. We're going to do fundraisers and whatever else we can do to make sure it's a viable thing. Some of Bacon's farmers have already said that they would give us potatoes. Michigan Sugar said they would give us sugar. I've talked to the people at the pickle plant up in Pinconning. I only live a mile away from there, and they said they would provide us some pickles, and the cheese plant is saying that they would provide some cheese. So we're looking for donations wherever we can get help. We've talked to Myers, we've talked to Kroger's, we've talked to Walmart, and they are willing to assist too.
There are perishable items on that food truck. I'm trying to remember. Like I say, the Salvation Army gets it, so that can be a problem if it's perishable and you need to get rid of it, that you might need, if you don't have enough demand, that you might have to move some of the perishable items somewhere else.
We have refrigeration available too. Village Hall said that we could use their refrigeration in their freezers.
Okay. All right. Any more questions? Like I say, unless somebody wants to make a motion, I think we need to look a little more deeply into it with our Corporation Council and come back.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Veteran Affair Office updates. That would be Mr. Goulet.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So briefly, the office downstairs is mostly complete. There's a couple miscellaneous items. They're finishing up a countertop and whatnot in the break room. Electricians coming in just to finalize a couple things, put up the TV in the conference room. We just have to shift things back around, but invoices have been paid. All the material is here. We're like 99% complete. And so I just wanted to give a brief update. We are operating out of that office now. Mark and Crystal are there. I also have an office that I'm positioned in as well. It's just finishing up those last few remaining things, and we'll be 100%. It'll be nice. Then we'll look at a date for an open house and possible speaker and things of that nature.
Any questions? Stop in and take a look. We get a chance. They were pretty well. They were working in a conference room when I went down there last week, I think it was. So. All right. Reports and resolutions. Anything in that area? Old business, driver cell phones. Any update on that?
I do. So I apologize. Last month, Mr. Pagandi brought up the fact of looking into some cell phones here. I did get some numbers from our purchasing agent, and I did forward that over to Mike, but I just wanted to share it with the rest of the committee, and it looks like they do have some flip phone options, and we pay a monthly fee approximately, depending on per line, around $25 to $30. So I wanted to report that back. And
Okay, and Fred, what do you have right now? You said you got 2 lines already and it's costing you, what, $18 a line per month?
The exact numbers in my little pocket right
I figured you might.
I was a little, excuse me, I was a little off when I first reported it. I paid the first bill myself, naturally. It was $151.94 out of Fred's pocket, naturally. How that breaks down is the phone is $25, $2.81 surcharge, $1.20 tax and government fees. And each line had an activation fee of $46.96. So there's the $151.94 I paid. Now the monthly bill from here on out for the next 22 months now will be $29.01 per phone. Now that includes a $5 charge for the phone itself. So at the end of the 2 years, that goes away. So it'll be down to $24.01. And I've got the phones, I cannot turn them in now. They're on my bill, I'm on contract, I guess I eat them. But it's a monthly fee of $29.01 per phone. I think originally I said about $20. But I didn't take into consideration the surcharge, of monthly government fees, taxes, that kind of crap. So $29.01 a month per phone.
So Craig, did you say it was $25 to $30 per phone?
that's correct.
Per month?
And again, not to persuade one way or another, just as information. If the county does pay for those things, that is subject to FOIA and, obviously care where that phone goes. Does it stay in a location? Does it go home with the individual? Those types of things would need to be just explained.
All right, well, I have a motion, and it's mostly because I'm getting tired of hearing Fred bitch. I move
You ain't
that...
heard nothing yet.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen with this motion. I move that we approve $58.02 per month to reimburse Mr. Zippler for his phone expenses. And I don't think we will revisit the 151 because you did that all on your own.
That was a one-time deal.
Yeah.
Right now it's $29.01
Yeah, which is
per month per phone.
$58.02 per month.
Yeah.
And I think we should reimburse Mr. Zippler because those phones are being used by drivers that support the driving program.
Would that be for 2 years then, since you had the 2 years?
That would be for 2 years, and then it is revisited when that contract expires with your carrier.
And now that drops by $10 in 22 months. Huh?
Well, we can bring that up
Yeah.
at that point in time.
One thing. We got a text message today from our current, what's the name of it, Straight Talk. I believe it was through Walmart originally. Text message said, God, I hope I get this right. We're changing our network. You're going to be needing a new phone. Then they're trying to advertise Samsung smartphones, blah, blah, blah. Well, we don't need smartphones. If Straight Talk does away with their phone plan, I'm going to have to get another master phone, if you will. But I'll get it on my plan like I have now. But I think it's good to the end of the year. I'm not sure. But that was the message we got on the phone. I'm not worried about it right now.
Okay,
So that was a motion?
that was a motion,
Motion
yes.
as support.
Support.
Any discussion?
I have one question. How many phones do you have now, Fred?
Well, the master phone plus two of the drivers have a phone.
So there's 3 phones now being paid for, not counting these 2?
Fred uses his own phone.
Oh, he does, gotcha.
The master.
No, the master phone is the one we're paying from Straight Talk.
Oh, okay, and then there'd be one additional phone?
There's 2 additional phones.
So we're paying for 1 now, and there'll be 3 total.
2 drivers have a phone,
Right.
and we have our master call-in phone, whatever the heck you want to call it.
Okay, so we're paying for 2 phones, $29.01 per month.
Yes.
Who's
And
paying
then
for the other phone?
the county, $49.50 a month for one
Oh,
phone.
that's the one that they had before.
Yeah, that phone's been there before
Okay.
my
All
time.
right, got it.
That's a smartphone, correct?
No.
It's not, okay.
All right.
Because I think
Okay.
I'll be going to smartphones soon.
Perfect, so the motion is, I think, appropriate.
I'm good.
With support. Any more discussion? Questions? The motion is to $58.02 per month for the 2 years contract to Mr. Zippler. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you all.
Ready? Sort of under old business, maybe I'll ask Mark about the gentleman, Mr. Ewell, that we've been sort of working on to see if he is a Bay City deceased veteran that should be on our wall.
Yep, we did I did talk to the National Personal Records, or the National Archives Records Center in St. Louis. We did make contact with the gentleman. There is a record, we're not sure exactly what's in it. We know that he was born here. That's all we know, that's all they would tell us. I have forwarded the information to Craig, and we were looking to get that paid so we could actually look at his record. Because now that he's been dead 70 years or so, it's now a public record, and we had to request it, so.
So we're waiting for the
So-
record.
We just have to go through our process to get the record paid, and we can actually look at it, and the record will come to our office, so.
And we paid, there was a fee for that then, 70 some dollars.
$70.
So I guess we should probably wait for that to come. Since we're paying the money. Yeah. Just an update on that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any new business? That's,
Yeah, I have an issue that I think we need to discuss and possibly vote on. Talk to Amber, I think there is an issue with our service officers being contract employees as opposed to county employees. So what my recommendation is that we make the service officers county employees, one being a full-time employee and one being a part-time employee. And I think Craig would probably have to do some homework to figure out what that's going to cost us before we can actually vote on it. Does that make sense?
and that's sort of a recommendation. I guess we could ask administration to
I will definitely
talk
look
to
into that.
personnel and
Gives them-
Look at all the costs.
She wouldn't get.
it'll be
Yeah,
looked
that's
at.
my recommendation, that we research it.
All righty. I guess
Or my
it's not a
motion that we
motion, but
research
it
it.
sounds like they're willing to do that, so.
Well, it's more than we're paying now.
Yeah. Any more discussion on that? It'll be looked into. Any other new business? Yep. Mr. Zippler, come on up. So we can hear you.
If I can make a mention of Mike's proposal. I understand we're not writing up claims for the Michigan Veterans Trust Fund. Is that correct? Are we taking application for Michigan Veterans Trust Fund? As far as you know? You are?
I'm not worried on it.
When was the last one you did?
I have to look, I don't know.
Okay.
still applying.
Are we, Mike, do you have any knowledge? Are we doing it?
I have no knowledge. But, you know, Fred, that's one of the issues we got to look into, besides making them a county employee, is the actual duty descriptions of what they would be doing. And then you can always put that catch-all in there like every government job has that says additional duties as assigned.
Well, what I was told of, geez, a year ago, well, not quite a year ago, I don't do them, I don't take applications for Michigan Veteran Trust Fund because I'm not being paid.
Now,
You're sitting down there making $15 an hour, you're being paid.
who said that? Did they actually tell you that?
Exact words. But if they're doing it now, like Mark thinks they are.
I would have to look at the last one we received.
Check into it, Mark, if you would. But, you know, in reality, Fred, I think Craig will back this up. Anytime you have a contract, you have very specific tasks that are in that contract. And that's what the contractor does. And if there's tasks in there, or tasks you want them to do that aren't in there, they don't have to do it.
The last line of all my contracts I made my guy sign, any additional duties as needed.
I don't know if that's in the contract or not.
I don't know, but it should be.
Without knowing that individual, we don't know if they met the eligibility requirements, so we don't know who that person may have been. They got turned away. Maybe they didn't meet the eligibility.
Oh, no, I'm not saying they were turned away. I'm saying, are we actually writing up a claim for the Michigan
That will be
veteran?
one of the things that they need to do,
Yeah.
yes.
I tried calling the guy this morning, and he was, I think there was two guys, and they were both out of the office. I know we had a meeting of the trust fund, 3-4 months ago, and they were kind of taken aback by the lack of application from Bay County.
Well, I heard that, you know, we had a trust fund person here, then that person was gone, and then they were supposed to be calling into Lansing. I think a lot of veterans aren't doing that. They aren't going online, or they aren't calling in to the trust fund in Lansing because they don't have a person to talk to. That's always
That's
a
possible.
problem. Yeah. That's the last I heard, is that, you know, we had one here, I think it was it Bonnie or someone was here.
Karen.
Yeah. And then they took it away and they said, if you call this number in Lansing, then we'll process. But
Well,
that's,
yeah, the other counties.
stops people.
Yeah, the other counties, there was a meeting was Clare County, I believe Iosco, Aranac, Midland, Isabella, and they all had a person either in their county building or in an office somewhere where they could sit down and the veteran could walk in and do the application. We're the only one there that didn't have such a thing.
So they might be funding it. I think it was being funded by the state. Back when we had somebody here, there was funding for that, and then that was
Yeah.
dropped. I remember
right.
Mr. Redford came by and they talked about dropping that funding for that. So I guess it would be on us if we decided to fund a position.
If you're paying a person $15 an hour to sit down there, and, I mean, what's the difference whether you're writing a claim for this guy, or I'm sorry, for Bay County, or for this committee, or for the Michigan Veterans Trust Fund? What's the difference?
Centralized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ma'am?
My understanding was that Crystal was doing the applications for the Michigan Trust Fund.
Crystal's the one that told me I don't do it because I don't get paid. Now this is, I'm going back 4 or 5 months. Whenever we was cleaning out the second floor, Jamie and I were down there emptying out file cabinets. In fact, I was waiting for Jamie, and I just sat down with, over in that one corner where Crystal and Mark were at the time, and she's the one that told me. Word for word. Maybe that's changed, I don't know.
Mark will check it and let us know next month.
Yeah.
Or you can give Fred a call and let him know.
I'll let Craig know.
Okay.
Any other new business? Mr. Douglas, you missed the public comment. We'll have a public comment at the end. You can speak.
For some undone, I guess you don't realize we have a homeless shelter here in Bay County. It doesn't seem like they know about it. And we just opened up a thrift shop, a gift thrift shop to fund the homeless shelter. We're not asking for any money, but we would like to at least get recognized for what we're doing for the veterans.
So what's the address? It'll be on Bay 3 TV. I know it's on Henry and Midland.
On Henry and Midland, on the corner. All the
South.
proceeds, 100% goes to help the homeless shelter. We don't keep one penny back. None of my employees, none of my volunteers are paid.
All right. That's the thrift shop, and then the homeless shelter is, what's the address?
303 18th Street. Home Depot has been really generous to us. The church on Midland Street has been really generous to us, helping us out. But we don't hear nothing from the veterans groups.
Okay.
Just wanted to let you know where we stand.
Okay. It'll be on TV. Any other new business? Comments, miscellaneous, announcements? Motion to adjourn is always in order.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
That's fine.